Etheridge, New Testament. The preaching of Matthew the Apostle. At that time Jesus was walking on the Sabbath among the grain, and his disciples hungered, and began to pluck the ears and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw them, they say to him, "Look, thy disciples do something which is not lawful to be done on the Sabbath." But he said to them, "Have you not read what David did when he hungered, and they who were with him? How he went to the house of God, and the bread of the table of the Lord did he eat, that which was not lawful for him to eat, nor for them who were with him, but for the priests only? Or have you not read in the law that the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath in it, and are without blame? But I say to you that one greater than the temple is here. Moreover, if you knew what that meaneth, I desire mercy and not a sacrifice, you would not have condemned them who are not faulty. For the Lord of the Sabbath is the Son of Man." And Jesus passed thence, and came into their synagogue. And a certain man was there whose hand was withered. And they questioned him, saying, "Is it lawful on the Sabbath to heal?" That they might accuse him. But he said to them, "What man is there among you that hath one sheep, who if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, doth not take and lift it up? How much more precious is a child of man than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful on the Sabbath day to do that which is good." Then saith he to the man, "Stretch forth thine hand." And he stretched forth his hand, and it was restored like the other its fellow. And the Pharisees went forth and took counsel against him, how they might destroy him. But Jesus knew, and passed from thence, and great crowds went after him, and he healed them all. And he forbade that they should make him known, that what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled, who said, "Behold my servant, in whom is my pleasure, my beloved, in whom my soul delighteth. My spirit will I put upon him, and judgment to the peoples shall he preach. He shall not contend nor cry, and no man shall hear his voice in the street. A bruised reed he will not break, and a flickering lamp he will not extinguish, until he bring forth judgment unto victory, and in his name shall the Gentiles hope." Then they brought to him a certain demoniac, who was dumb and blind, and he healed him, so that the dumb and blind could speak and see. And all the multitude were amazed, and said, "Is not this the son of David?" But the Pharisees, when they heard, said, "This man doth not cast forth demons, unless by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils." But Jesus knew their reasonings, and said to them, "Every kingdom that is divided against itself is destroyed, and every city which is divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then standeth his kingdom? And if I, by Beelzebub cast forth demons. Your sons, by whom do they cast them forth? On this account they shall be your judges. But if I by the Spirit of God cast forth demons, the kingdom of God hath come nigh upon you. Or, how can one enter the strong one's house and spoil his goods, unless he first bind the strong one? And then can he spoil his house. He who is not with me is against me, and he who gathereth not with me in scattering scattereth. Wherefore, this I say to you, that all sins and blasphemies shall be forgiven unto the sons of men, but the blasphemy which is against the Spirit shall not be forgiven to the sons of men. And every one who shall speak a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But every one who against the Spirit of holiness shall speak, it shall not be forgiven to him, neither in this world nor in the world to come. Or make the tree good, and the fruits will be good. Or make the tree evil, and the fruits will be evil. For by the fruits the tree is known. Brood of vipers, how can you speak good who are evil? For from the abundancies of the heart the mouth speaketh. A good man from the good treasuries bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasuries bringeth forth evil things. But I tell you, that for every useless word which the sons of men shall speak, they must give the answer for it in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Then answered certain from the scribes and Pharisees, and said to him, Teacher, we would wish to see a sign from thee. But he answered them and said, A generation depraved and adulterous requireth a sign, but a sign shall not be given to it, but the sign of Jonah the prophet. For as Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights, so the Son of Man shall be in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights. The men of Nineveh shall rise up in the judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it, for they repented at the preaching of Jonah. And, behold, a greater than Jonah is here. The queen of the south shall arise in the judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it. For she came from the confines of the earth, that she might hear the wisdom of Solomon. But one more excellent than Solomon is here. When the unclean spirit shall have gone forth from a child of man, he wandereth through places that have no waters in them, and seeketh repose, but findeth it not. Then he saith, I will return unto the house from whence I came forth. And coming, he findeth it untenanted, cleansed, and decorated. Then he goeth and taketh with him 7 other spirits than himself more wicked, and they enter and dwell in him. And the end of that man is worse than his beginning. So shall it be with this wicked race. while he spake to the assembly, his mother and his brethren came, standing without, and seeking to speak with him. And a man said to him, Thy mother and thy brethren are standing without, and are requesting to speak with thee. But he answered and said to him who spake to him, Who is my mother, and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples, and said, Behold my mother, and behold my brethren. For every one who doeth the will of my Father who is in heaven, he is my brother, and my sister, and my mother.